Hello and welcome to Wilson's Barbecue. In this video I'm going to take you through how I like to make some really incredible tasty pulled pork tacos with pineapple salsa. You can use leftover pulled pork, that's what I'm doing today, so I've just got some pulled pork that I smoked yesterday in the oven, or you can just smoke some pulled pork and use it straight away. So first thing we need to do is make some pickled red onions. Now these are super delicious. These go really well with any tacos, but I like them with the pork, the smoked pulled pork tacos and the pineapple salsa. So all we need to do is slice up fairly thinly some red onion. And if you haven't done already, please subscribe to the channel, give me a like if you like the video, drop me a comment below, it all really helps. So we've used about just under half a red onion, and all we're going to do, just break it up first, just so it's all separated, they're all separated. Stick that into a bowl. Right. Now all you need to do for the pickling is a teaspoon of sugar, a nice glug of apple cider vinegar, and it doesn't really matter how much you put in here, you just want to make sure that once you do stir this around you're able to submerge all of the onion. Next is a big nice handful of sea salt. And that's pretty much it. That's my real quick pickled red onions. So what I'm going to do is scrunch it up and we'll be ready to go. So I'm making this first because I like to leave these to set for a while, or to sit. The longer the better. You could leave them overnight. I'm going to leave these for about an hour before I use them. And what you'll find is they'll go a real kind of translucent pink colour over time, so you can already see that they're starting to become translucent, but give them about an hour, we'll come back and they'll be nice and pink. Next thing we're going to do is whip up the pineapple salsa. Right, so let's get into making my kind of spicy ancho chili pineapple salsa. This stuff is incredible. It's not it is sweet, it's got orange juice in it to kind of give it a thick sauce, but it's got ancho chili flakes in it which give it a really nice smoky flavour. I've got some smoked Tabasco here, pepper, and about a cup of orange juice. This recipe tends to, even for me, even when I write down the recipe, what tends to happen is the amounts that I need, particularly with the orange juice, tend to change every time. So I'm going to say a cup of orange juice, but what I'm going to do is put in half a cup, start cooking it away, reducing it, and then see where we're at. And I don't know if it's something to do with the pineapple and how much juice that has in it, but sometimes it can come out quite watery. So let's get half a cup and then go from there. So all I'm doing is slicing up a pineapple. And this is a great contrast to the richness of the pork that we're going to use. We'll just get off as much of that as possible without getting that core in there. Set that to the side. Got my pan here just so I can put everything in. What we're going to do is cut the pineapple up into nice, I guess, sizes that you would typically find in salsa, if you're having like an onion and tomato salsa. So I'll cut them up here just to show you the size. Just small enough that they will sit nicely on top of the taco. So I'll show you that there. So just little pieces like that, so they'll fit nicely on any size taco. So I'm going to go ahead and chop all this up. I'm not going to film it, but we'll come back in a second once all this is done. Right, so we're back. We've cut up our pineapple into nice I'd say taco sized pieces. I'm just going to run the knife through it just to get any last little big chunks. And then we're going to put that into our pot. If you don't like pineapple, I would strongly suggest that you just give this a go anyway, because although you can taste the pineapple, once it's mixed with all the other spices and coriander and cumin, you really can't, it's not noticeable. So just a real nice sweetness and freshness. So we've got our pineapple in our pot. We've got our ancho chili flakes. These give a real unique smoky flavour, so I recommend going out and getting hold of these. If you don't have them in your cupboard, it's worth going and making an extra trip to get those. So those have gone in. We've also got our cup of orange juice. I'm going to put in about half, 2/3 actually, of the orange juice in there. This smoked Tabasco, Chipotle Tabasco, gives it a really nice smoky kick as well, along with the ancho chili flakes. So I've gone in with a good tablespoon, maybe a little bit under there. I've got my ground black pepper, and then before we go on to the hob, a nice sprinkling of sea salt. And there we have it. So we've got our chopped up pineapple, orange juice, ancho chili flakes, our chipotle smoked Tabasco, pepper, salt, and all we're going to do is put that on the hob like that and let it simmer away. That will probably simmer for anywhere between 25 and 40 minutes on a real low heat. And what you want that to do is caramelize and get sticky and gooey and become like a kind of almost a chutney. I also forgot to say we had our teaspoon of sugar in there as well. So, right, we're going to put that on and then we'll come back in a bit and show you the rest of the makeup for this incredible pork tacos. Right, so we've got our pineapple and ancho chili salsa on the hob. We've got our pickled red onions pickling. Now we need to make some guac. This is a real easy, but real delicious guac that I make every time I'm doing nachos or tacos. I always make this guac and it always turns out really, really well. So just need one avocado. And this is quite a firm avocado. I'd like it to have been a bit more ripe, but we work with what we've got. Let's get all the flesh out. So I like to give myself a head start for when I mash this up and cut it into small chunks up here, and it just makes it a little bit easier to turn into a guac in a moment. Let's chop that up, and a bowl here that I'm going to make the guac in, and I'm going to leave it to chill out for about 45 minutes before I use it. So next going in is cumin. I absolutely love cumin with guac. I think it makes it. So quite a large, probably about a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half of cumin. Some cracked black pepper. A nice pinch of sea salt. Give the pineapple salsa a stir, and then a teaspoon or a large teaspoon of sour cream, and that gives it a really nice creaminess. And I don't know if it does, but it feels like that breaks down some of the guac that hasn't quite ripened yet. So what I like to do is kind of chop it up using this big bowl to break it down even further, and then once I'm happy with how much it's broken down, I'll just use a fork to mash it. So we'll do that. We'll break this down, give it a stir, and come back and show you what this looks like. Right, so we've mashed up our guac. It's a nice consistency. We've got that cumin in there, that pepper, that salt. So that is ready to go. I would normally leave that for a good maybe hour in the fridge to cool down, but we're making the video and we're pretty hungry. So we've got our guac. You can see here our pickled red onions are starting to go a nice pinky colour. We've got our pineapple salsa still on the hob there, and it's just getting thicker and thicker with all that sugar in there caramelizing, so that's going to be really good. We've got our pulled pork that we reheated in the oven in a foil pan covered in tin foil, and that was in there for about an hour, just heating through about the same temperature I cooked it at originally on the smoker. I've warmed up some tortillas and I think we are ready to go. So we'll get our tortillas out. And this is how I like to reheat or heat up tortillas, in a tin foil pouch like that. So I think we're ready to put this together. So we've got our 2 tortillas. I'm going to put these back in the oven just because we'll be making some more of these. And we've got our leftover pulled pork. But obviously this is the star of the show. It reheated really well, loads of juice in there, some bark, some nice fat. So we're just going to get a nice big tongue full of this. I mean, to be honest, looking at the size of these, probably a bit too big. Move some of that around. We want to get all the nice fatty bits and a bit of bark in there. Some of that smoke ring. Right, so there we have our pulled pork. Next thing to go on is our guac. So I'm just going to put that on quite liberally. This is for my wife. Not that she'll eat all of this, but she likes a lot of guac. These are also gluten-free tortillas because my wife has to have gluten-free. And then next up is just some of those pickled red onions. Just sit on the top. And these cut through the richness of the pork incredibly. So we've got our incredible pineapple salsa, and if you can see in there, it's reduced down. It's got a nice dark colour where the sugar has caramelized. Sorry. Now we're just going to pop that on top like that. And you can see those ancho chili flakes. So that's pretty much it. All we're going to do now is just finish it off with a sprinkling of coriander. And again, this will give a nice freshness. And there we have it. That's it. That's my leftover pulled pork tacos with pineapple salsa. These are incredible. I'm gonna bite into one. I'm gonna try it. I was gonna leave them for my wife, but I can't now. Looking at these, I'm gonna have to give it a bite. That's a big taco. Right, let's see how this tastes. That is incredible. The pineapple salsa just makes it, I think. The pulled pork is good, but that pineapple salsa on top just brings it to a whole new level. The sweetness, the smokiness from the Tabasco, it works perfectly. It's really, really good. So I recommend that you try it. If you haven't seen my video on how to make smoked pulled pork, you can click the link above and find out how to do that. This is a leftover pulled pork taco video, so go and make that, and with your leftovers, make these, because these are outstanding. They're really good. So if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, do all those social media things. Go follow me on Instagram. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for a new video.